Hi, in today's video, you're going to learn how you can completely change the way that you think through your self-beliefs and how you can change that. I think first it's super important to understand that everything that has happened to us in the past does affect us today. And you might know that, you might not know that, but it does. And sometimes they show in our relationships, sometimes they show just us living like in our lives generally, like our lifestyle. But understanding how to approach these things are super important as well. Like, let's say it's stuff that you regret that you did in the past and you wish that it didn't happen. You wish that you could have changed it and you can go in the past and just relive this situation or experience. Those are the things that kind of mess with us in the present moment because they're all you can think about. You're like, I wish this didn't happen, or like things that are out of your control or stuff that you want and you just can't get. These are stuff that you have to look at and kind of like navigate how to control these emotions because they can make you have a different perspective on everything. And I think the first step into approaching, our past or stuff that just we wish didn't happen or we can change is accepting them. And obviously we hear that. We're like, okay, but like, how do we accept these situations? Like, I'm going through it, I'm feeling it. How do I accept it? And now if it's something that you regret, like if something that has happened in the past and you regret it, the only way for you to overcome that is knowing and just looking back at that situation and that experience and saying, okay, well, like at the time, like I didn't know better. I thought this was the best decision. Or maybe in the back of your mind, you didn't know it was the best decision and now you do. And that's why you regret it. But the fact that you think that it's something you regret and it's something that you want to change is super important, if it is something that you want to change, because that shows you care, that shows you want to be better. So acknowledge that. But also at the time you didn't know anything. If it's something that you wanted and you didn't get, or something in the present that you want right now and you're not getting, well, think about like if it's achievable. Can you do it? Is it possible? If it is, obviously those steps you have to take to understand, like, how am I supposed to get there? What am I going to do to get there? But accepting stuff that has happened, being thankful for those experiences, being at peace with those experiences is what will help you move forward. And that changes your belief system because you could have done something in the past and then you regret it now, and that could have a totally different effect on your mentality right now and how you view certain things with relationships, with anything in life. So understanding that is super important. Now, also, this leads me to my next point is neuroplasticity. So if you don't know what neuroplasticity is, basically, it's something that all of us as humans have in our brain. It's like scientifically proven. And neuroplasticity is an amazing thing that I think should be more well known, obviously, because it's something we all have. And basically what it means is that we can change our belief systems. We have that. We have something in our brain, and we can change the way that we think. We can change the way that we believe things. It is proven that we can. But it's just, it's like when someone's learning something, or let's say someone broke their leg. When you are learning something, for some people it's quicker and some people it takes longer. However, if you work on it consistently on whatever it is that you're trying to achieve, you will get there. And if you seriously want to stop doing something or focus on something or just forget about something, like how we were talking about from our past, you can do it. You can, because it's scientifically proven that we can. Now, sometimes there's stuff that can target certain things. Like that could be something that happened in your inner child, stuff that you've experienced, like trauma, PTSD. Of course, that's different because that could technically always stay with you depending on what it is. Or like if someone died in your family, like that feeling of like something missing or whatever the case is. However, you still have that ability to work on it and change the way that you think. Like if you want a completely new reality, you just want to focus on certain things and be completely different, you can, okay? You can, but you actually have to want it and work towards it. And it's super hard, I think, sometimes to understand this, because it's like, okay, but like I have been thinking about this thing for like so long, like it's been months, it's been years, like I can't stop thinking about something. And it's kind of funny because it's like the more that we think about something, the more it stays with us, the more that we look for it. Even though you're trying not to, we naturally see it in our daily lives. Because as like, you know, like manifestation, when you say things into existence, you look for them in your daily life. And that's the same thing as stuff that we don't want to think about, if that makes sense. So knowing this is super important, because you can, if you want to. The first step is obviously wanting to, like, do you want to? And I feel like if you clicked on this video, like obviously like you want to, there's something that is bothering you right now. It could be one thing, it could be multiple things, whatever it is. But acknowledge that. That's how you feel. You want to like work on something, like that's incredible. Like props. Okay, just clicking on this video, like just want to say props. Also, I think that it's super important to recognize the way that you react to certain things. So understanding ourselves, like understanding how we move, like yourself, because we, you know, it's just kind of hard to understand sometimes, because like we are in a society where we have never looked at ourselves like face to face. Like we look at our hands, we look at like the clothes we're gonna wear, we could see some parts of us, but the only actual like the part that we've seen fully is literally through a mirror. And because we live in a society where like we look at people 3D, and then that causes like you to be more insecure or want to work on certain things that are bothering you, like your weaknesses, whatever it is. Literally, it's that's what I'm saying, like props for you to wanting to just be better. But you know, wanting to like work on yourself, but going deeper, as in like looking how you react to certain things, looking how you communicate, not just the way that you dress and present yourself, but literally like the way that stuff triggers you is so important. Like you need to look at yourself and look at yourself from another figure. Like don't look at yourself from like who you are, if that makes sense, because we have been living with ourselves for so long. Like this is the only body and soul that you're going to be given. And so it's natural for you to want to work on certain things and have weaknesses and like target yourself, because you obviously clicked on this video because you want to be better. But like how I said, we have never seen ourselves, you know, face to face. And I think if honestly, like it kind of sounds stupid and like funny at the same time to say this, but if we really did, like if you saw yourself like 3D, like as in another person, like I'm not talking about a twin, like I'm talking about like literally you, I think it would change a lot of our perspectives on a lot of things. Even like because we know that type of person, and like your beliefs and what you think, your perspective on certain things, it is literally your reality. Like what happens in our mind is our reality. And understand like why you get mad at certain things, why you talk certain ways. Like it's very important. It's very important for you to acknowledge that. Now, if you like the way that you communicate, like everything about it is perfect, let's say like when you're arguing, like you know how to approach that, that's amazing. But there's also some people out there where that's a thing that they want to work on. Like if they're arguing with someone, maybe like they're very stubborn and they want to, you know, get their point across like that. But like there's certain things that you have to understand, like why is it important for me to acknowledge that this is a problem? You know, like when you're arguing with someone, for example, like you need to find a way to meet in the middle. Meeting in the middle is the only way to accomplish an argument, because you know, you're trying to beat the other person in an argument and they're trying to do that. It's vice versa. So it never goes anywhere. So wanting to be better, looking at yourself in that perspective, just also appreciating yourself though, because like when we target certain things that we don't like about ourselves, it makes us feel worse about like the person we are. And then that makes us like lose motivation. Motivation, obviously, we know that it's not credible. It's not a source that we look for when wanting to be better, because some days you wake up and you feel like you want to do stuff, and then literally it could be like the same weather outside, you could be wearing the same thing and everything's literally the same, but you feel completely different. So relying on, like how I talked about on my other video, procrastination is incredibly important, because when we procrastinate, it delays so much in our life, and that does affect the way that, you know, we think. Like wanting to, when you are working towards this better version of yourself, that creates a growth mindset. And that leads me to that point of this growth mindset that you have to understand. Like you have to understand why it's important. When you don't have a growth mindset, so that meaning like you don't want to change, you want to stay where you are, even though you know like how bad it's affecting your life, the people around you, you just kind of believe that this life that you've been given is the only possible way that you're gonna live. Like this is it. That is not having a growth mindset. And going back to neuroplasticity, so that meaning that we can change our beliefs, you need to believe that. Believe that you have that choice of wanting a growth mindset. You have that opportunity to grow your mind in numerous ways. I mean, personally, I've thought about this so much, but I don't even think scientists have discovered like a quarter of our human, like everything that we have learned right now from scientists about the human brain. I don't even think it's a close to a quarter. Like I don't believe it, because like that's my opinion, and other people can argue with me with that, but like I think us as human beings are such incredible species. Like we are not like any other animal, and it's incredible. Like we all are so different and unique in our own way, but we also do share a lot of similarities, and it's just amazing. Like when you surround yourself with people that genuinely want better for themselves, of course, but like when you're surrounding yourself with people that want better for you, and their whole mindset is like devoted on this better version of everyone around them, it creates this frequency and this energy to want to be better. And so if you genuinely want to change your belief systems, like we hear this all the time, that you know, like the people that you surround yourself with, like will affect you. They will affect, you know, how you, like everything in your life. Like we know this. We know that like if you're friends with someone that talks a lot of shit and they like whatever, they say things that you don't like or don't agree with, but you're kind of like still there sitting and like agreeing. Or, you know, like you're just surrounding yourself with people who don't care about their life. You're surrounding yourself with people who don't see a future in themselves or you, or there's just so much negativity. When you surround yourself with that, that's the frequency, that's the energy that you will receive naturally. And so understand that's really important. Like it's very cliche to say it, like, oh yeah, like it is, but it's not just about the people that you surround yourself with. It's the way that you, like when you wake up in the morning and you look around like your room or your house or apartment, whatever it is, when you look around this lifestyle that you created for yourself, that is the vision that either agrees with up here or it doesn't. And our minds will play games on us. Understand that it's so important that sometimes you can't listen to your thoughts. There's a difference with your gut feeling and your thoughts, because sometimes, as we know, like our mind just wants us to be comfortable. We don't want to like leave, let's say, like our bed because we're tired or we're sore, or we don't want to face fear. Like it's so important that you understand also that your fear into anything, like changing especially, but just acknowledging like what you're scared about is also going to help you expand your beliefs. Because when we fear something, we naturally, our minds, our bodies, we pull away from it. Sometimes it's a fear that will obviously naturally keep us safe. Like it could be like, you know, falling off a cliff. Like we are naturally bound to think about that as a fear, or, you know, being poor or dying. Like these are all fears that we can have. But then there's some fears in our life that really impact our procrastination, and they impact wanting this life that we imagine in our head, but we never move forward to work towards that fear that is stopping us from this version that we want to be. And these are things that we have to acknowledge. And it's like, you know, going back to a growth mindset and believing that you can change, but also believing that we are so lucky to even just, like me sitting here talking to you guys, it's like, it's a blessing. And it's like, really, when you look at the small things in life, you will appreciate those big things. Those big things will feel like blessings. But yeah, I hope you guys learned something in this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.